From the Kiss 92.5 studios in Toronto, Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is Roz and Mocha.
it's Roz and Mocha. What's going on?
Hey guys, this is Bruno Mars.
This is Selena Gomez.
The Chainsmokers.
Lady Gaga.
Calvin Harris.
Celestia Cara.
This is Ed Sheeran.
You're listening to my boys Roz and Mocha.
Roz and Mocha.
My boys Roz and Mocha.
The Roz and Mocha Show.
Between Roz and Mocha, who is your favorite?
Mocha. You guys are so funny, man.
Congratulations, Lisa! Wow!
You just won $1,000.
Amazing. Y'all just made my entire morning. Keep it up.
You guys are awesome, man. This is the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, Mocha.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do the news.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
News break.
It is looking like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has avoided arbitration once again. So the first baseman, I guess, has agreed to a one-year deal again. So we're going to go through this all again next year. $28.5 million ahead
just
of
find the funds to lock him in for more years.
Bro, social media was so thirsty the last couple days. Like every team, every fan from every team was like, please just get us Vladdy. Please just get us Vladdy.
Yeah.
Like everybody. So I guess they're going to go through this again next year because he doesn't negotiate while the season's happening. Right? That's his deal.
Great move.
Great move. Yeah. So $28.5 million. 1 year.
1 year.
1 year. 1 year.
Hold on a second.
I mean, that's not quite football money, but that's 1 year. It's
not bad.
Right? It's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, I'm not turning my nose up at 28.5.
And it's just the baseball season. So it's not like a full year. He's not working every single day.
Bro.
of the week,
162 games.
Yeah.
right? 162 games.
Yeah.
Hey, question.
That's an easy game, too.
Is Blue Jays still owned by Rogers?
I believe so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Are
Interesting.
we, the Roz and Mocha Show, still owned by Rogers?
I believe so, yes.
Huh.
That's not good news for us.
No, it's not, right?
No.
And he signed a 1 year deal for
1
how
year.
much?
28.5.
Huh.
Yeah.
Rogers paid him $28.5
Yeah.
for 1 year.
Yeah.
We're going into year 16 of the Roz and Mocha Show.
Yeah.
We were five days a week,
Yeah.
plus 7 days a week podcast,
Yo,
plus
there's
weekend shows, plus specialty shows.
at least two people in this room that could crank balls as good as Vladdy Jr.
Hey.
Oh, me? Yeah.
Yo, hold on, I got one more question.
Okay, yeah.
Does Edward Rogers work in the building on Fridays?
No, please. Nobody works in this building on Fridays.
Yeah, it's a dead zone in here.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I want to play this clip from L.A. Senior Lead Officer Charles Dinzel down talking about the fires and how somebody was arrested for arson with regards to the Kenneth fire. Listen to this.
What we know right now is that the incident started here, and about 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills area by citizens. It's being investigated as a crime.
So what happened was these people were there, like in their homes and in and around their homes, and they saw a guy come up, speed by in a truck, and they were like, that's sort of weird because it wasn't like any sort of official thing. And then neighbors ran out of their homes and they cornered the guy and held him down until the cops got there. And they said he had what appeared to be a large propane tank and a flamethrower.
What?
And he was trying to set something on fire behind his truck, like hiding behind his truck. He had a
Troublemaker.
propane tank and a flamethrower.
You have to be a disgusting human being to be going around doing that
Right?
while everything else is
You
happening.
seen all the looting videos?
I haven't. I
Because-
saw one video yesterday. It was like a drone shot of a neighborhood that was just completely demolished.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
But the neighborhoods where the houses weren't destroyed, those people still evacuated. So all those houses are empty right now.
So people who know that the houses are still up are going in.
They're just cruising around.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
it's,
understand what goes through people's heads
Yeah.
in situations
it's
like
opportunity.
this. Like, really, like,
it's opportunity. That's all it is.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
News from the Poonaverse, Mocha.
Huh?
The Poonaverse. So you know how Winnie the Pooh went into public domain, and then they started making those movies, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and then they've expanded the universe as more characters, beloved legendary characters, have become free to use. So Peter Pan Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare is the next one that's going to be part of the Pooniverse. And
Peter Pan, the boy who never grew up?
I thought we said that you were not allowed saying that word again.
It features Tinkerbell, who is trans and a heroin addict.
What?
And the director says that Tinkerbell is not a villain at all, but brainwashed by the evil Peter Pan. Tinkerbell is actually born male, and his name is Timmy, but because he identifies as female, Peter won't let Timmy be one of his lost boys. Instead, he offers Timmy, a.k.a. Tinkerbell, to be a magical fairy who gets, quote, pixie dust every time he does what he's supposed to. Pixie dust, of course, is heroin. So that is going to be
like a good deal.
Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which is the latest installment in the Pooniverse.
I remember back in the day, The Rock used to use that word, but
not the same way. Not the same way.
So much pie, right, Shem?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
A new study has found that people are significantly more likely to feel terrible, angry, and annoyed the more they consume social media. So this is from Harvard, where they collected data on how often adults 18 or older use Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. Then they compared people's social media use and then how they scored on various mood tests. However, there's no sort of like causation when it comes to this. So they don't know if social media makes people irritable and angry, or if angry and irritable people just use social media more often, right? So they don't know if one causes the other or if one is attracted to the other. But that's what they found, is that the more you use social media, the more angry and annoyed and irritable you are. Or you're just that person anyway, and then you gravitate towards social media.
Yes, Maria, what?
Did they say how much time they have to, like, just so that I can check?
No,
So you can check or you can justify it?
I'm gonna say if you're asking, it's too much, Maria.
No,
Right?
because I use it for work.
There it is.
How long were you on TikTok yesterday for?
Oh, hold on. Let me figure this out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see.
Wait.
Where do you even get those stats?
Screen time on your phone.
Oh.
If you used your phone, you would know.
TikTok. Irritable.
Oh, no.
What?
TikTok was an hour and 23 minutes.
Yeah.
And texting was also an hour and 23 minutes. And Instagram was 59 minutes.
Wow. Damon Mori?
Let's see here. Instagram was, we went yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday, TikTok an hour 24, Instagram 59 minutes.
Wow, you guys.
My total social, it says 3 hours and 49 minutes.
Just for yesterday.
Just for yesterday.
What's your
3
total
hours,
social?
14.
Wow.
14?
You guys are like on the same.
3 hours 14.
Oh, 3:14.
I think mine actually might be more than that because I don't lock my phone, right?
Oh,
So
and
my
it just
phone
stays
just
open?
my phone just stays open. So whatever if I'm on, like if I'm on X,
Yeah.
right, or Instagram, and I just put my phone down, it'll be open for hours.
What's the thing that shocked you that you read on your phone, Maria?
Maury, go to your week average.
Oh, no.
I went
Where's
to
that?
my week average, and
Yeah.
I don't think I can announce this. This
Okay.
is
Well, now you
really
have to
bad.
wait.
Week average.
Wait.
Week.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Let Maury answer first. Maury, your
Am
week
I doing
average for
this right?
social.
14 hours 52 minutes.
Maria?
My total screen time?
Yeah.
Oh, screen time.
Oh.
47 hours and 1 minute. My social was 23 hours
Oh
and
my
53.
God.
Oh, what's your screen time, Maury?
24 hours and 46 minutes.
Y'all.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Justin Trudeau was on CNN last night after, I guess, finally responding to all the Donald Trump madness about wanting to buy Canada or invade or annex or whatever the hell you want to call it. Here is Justin Trudeau.
President-elect Trump has been needling you a bit, calling you Governor Trudeau, talking about making Canada the 51st state. Did you have any interaction with him today?
No, not today. But that's not going to happen. Canadians are incredibly proud of being Canadian. One of the ways we define ourselves most easily is, well, we're not American. There is such a depth of pride that's not actually an issue. What I think is happening in this is President Trump, who's a very skillful negotiator, is getting people to be somewhat distracted by that conversation take away from the conversation around 25% tariffs on oil and gas and electricity and steel and aluminum and lumber and concrete, and everything the American consumers buy from Canada is suddenly going to get a lot more expensive if he moves forward on these tariffs. And that's something that I think we need to be focusing on a little bit more.
Bro, don't do the "we're better than you." That's not the way to do it. Did you see Elon's reply to Trudeau the other day?
Oh, did he call him like a gal or something?
So Trudeau, responding to Trump, Trudeau said there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States. And then Elon replied with, "Girl, you're not the governor anymore, so it doesn't matter what you say." And we have the rules and the date for the Liberal Party to find their new leader. So a new leader will be picked on March 9th. Leadership contestants must declare by January 23rd and pay an entrance fee of $350,000.
Oh, wow.
Now, who gets to pick the leader? That's the big question. Who gets to vote? Well, anybody who's a registered Liberal gets to vote. And anyone who wants to register as a Liberal, all you have to do is be a Canadian citizen and a permanent resident and be 14 years old or older.
What?
14, and all you got to do is
How did
register.
they not change that law already?
I don't know. Guys, I got a great idea.
What?
A great idea.
Oh, no.
First of all, how many people do you think we could register on this show?
Bro, millions.
With millions, right? Millions. 14 plus? Millions. If we could come up with the $350,000 to run a candidate.
Yeah.
Should we run Maury?
$350,000?
We could come up with that money.
How do you come up with that money?
We could come up with that money. We could get that money. Think of the payoff. Think about it. Because all we would have to do is register more people to vote for Maury than the other three jabronis that are going to be running. And
Play the game. Don't let the game play you, player.
I think we could do it.
Yeah.
He's not going to win anyway, right?
You don't know that? You don't know? How do you know?
Well, because the election's going to happen and Poilievre's going to win. Like, whoever they put in there is going to get slaughtered.
We always have to think.
It's chess, not checkers.
Thank you.
I need a new suit.
No, you don't. You just go with the same thing.
Yeah. Kid nipples and all.
Thick flannel boxer shorts sticking up out of your ill-fitting jeans. You just march right on in there.
Yeah, you're good.
I think we could do it.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
CES, the big tech conference that was going on.
That's my favorite.
I always like going through looking at the worst of CES list. There's a lot of AI and smart whatevers that were debuted. So there's a new AI washing machine that Samsung unveiled that lets you make phone calls.
From the washing machine?
From your washing machine. To me, that just sounds so expensive to fix when your washing machine starts breaking down.
Well, why would you want to?
I don't know. LG did the same thing again with the ThinkQ refrigerator. It's the latest smart refrigerator that allows you to do anything with touch screens, except for it's like an enormous cost and, again, impossible to fix, higher energy consumptions. Bosch revealed the Smart Crib, which has a full surveillance system installed for the baby.
Bruh. I mean, that I can understand. People buy baby monitors.
Yeah, but this is extreme. There's a magic mirror. The mirror promises an interactive 360-degree view of your vital indicators as well as AI, the company says, to analyze indicators such as heart health, nutrition trends, body composition, lung function, activity tracking, and sleep quality. The mirror can also talk to you and give you motivational phrases in the morning, also remind you to take your medication.
Oh, shit, that's right up your alley.
There's a smart ring. So the Smart Ring gives, again, key health indicators such as sleep, movement, heart rate viability, stress, and skin temperature. Oh. It can also tell if you're drinking too much coffee. However, the thing with the Smart Ring is that the battery only lasts 500 charges.
Oh.
Worse, replacing the battery is impossible without completely destroying the device entirely. So you get 2 years of use for $2,200.
No. Pass. I'm not letting you buy that, Shem. Pass.
$2,200?
The mirror you can buy.
You can only charge it 500 times.
No, that's dumb.
Right? Hey, has anybody's phone, because they released the new iPhone, has anybody, they've started zapping your battery yet?
Bruh.
What?
Yeah.
No, my you know what?
Mine's
Actually?
a mess.
My phone is
not set to automatic.
No. It's because every time they release the new phone, they do that thing where your phone doesn't last as long as it used to anymore. Yeah. All three of our phones, me, Catherine, Roxy, all three of our phones the same day. At the same time of night. We have never at this same time of night living our normal lives had to charge our phones. All three of us at the same time looked at our phone the other day and we're like, oh my God, how am I almost dead?
I'm looking at my phone right now and haven't really been on it today so far.
Yeah.
And normally it's never at this level at this time of the show.
Never.
I'm at 63%.
Yes,
I'm usually still in the 90s.
Thank you.
My phones have been fine.
Are you okay? Yours is fine?
No. And they do this. And we know they do this. They've been busted doing this. They say they don't. Then they had to say
Isn't
they
there
did.
a lawsuit for that?
Yes.
The McDonald's ice cream machine.
It's what they do.
Yikes.
It's what they do. Yeah. So and they just want you to get the new phone. I'm not getting the new phone.
What is it, 16, 17
Yeah,
now?
I think it's 16.
16?
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stick with mine.
Yeah.
Play the game. Don't let the game play you, player.
Thank you.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
LA fires are still going wild down there, man. And a lot of restaurants burned, but a lot of restaurants that are still standing in and around Los Angeles and Hollywood and those areas affected are stepping up. So In-N-Out Burger giving out food to firefighters and people who have been displaced. Wolfgang Puck Spago is making lunch for firefighters. The Pizzana Pizza, Yeasty Boys Bagels.
Okay, sure.
They're
Jollibee
doing
too.
Yeah, they're doing what they can. And celebrity makeup artist Alexis Oakley is making food for firefighters. I guess she does like makeup for like Jessica Alba and Paris Hilton and stuff like that. Dammit Maury catching up with Alexis over the weekend.
What has the reaction been?
It's been super emotional. And I feel like right off the bat, they are so thankful and grateful. And we've heard stories of firefighters who haven't eaten in 12, 13 hours because they're just out there like trying to put out these fires and they're just not being taken care of. And so I think that this has been something that really seems like is going such a long way because they know that it's from the heart. And it's really amazing too, to be able to speak to these people firsthand too, and hear stories and hear how challenging this has been for them as well.
And one of the sort of biggest stories celebrity-wise is not the destruction, it's the resurgence of Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag. And you're getting a lot of reaction from millennial women. And one of them, I'll read you this. This woman wrote, as a millennial, one of the biggest plot twists of my life is how much I like Spencer Pratt now. Because they've come back because they lost everything. And then Spencer Pratt has been doing all these videos. And one of the videos he said, please stream any of Heidi Montag's music on any platform and the money will make a huge difference. Oh. And so fans started streaming, if you remember from 2010, Superficial. And celebrities were getting in on it. They were like, reposting and retweeting.
Oh my God!
Everything
this
else.
makes it back on the Billboard charts. That's crazy.
So, Superficial over the weekend on Saturday hit number 1 on iTunes.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
God, okay.
Yes, it did. And Spencer Pratt was out there making more videos, and here he is talking about the sort of contradictions and trolling from fans that he's getting.
You know, one of my favorite things about my house burning down, ever since 2010 when The Hills was canceled, everyone on social media and Google I've ever read about myself is I'm a broke nobody. But then it takes all of our possessions in our house burning down, and now in all my comment section, everyone's just like, what are you crying about? You're a rich celebrity.
Oh, shoot.
My gosh, what a rebrand. Please, everyone update my Google alerts. That celebrity net worth thing that said I've been worth like $1,000 for the last 15 years. Please update that because, you know.
Poor guy.
I'm enjoying now being called a rich celebrity. So thank you to everyone in the comment section that says, who cares? You lost everything. You're a rich celebrity. You know, I'm almost at a minute. So sorry I have to sit here because I'm a rich celebrity. I need to get 50 cents from TikToks from the Creator Fund. Okay, a minute. Rich celebrity. See you in a few minutes.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, and I know those shows, we've talked about this, aren't like, they're not what they used to be, those reality shows and stuff like that. But you have to think somebody is thinking about doing a Spencer and Heidi rebuild.
100%.
Right?
Well,
Like
the two of them,
sort of like rebuild their life,
They
get
kind
it
of
all
came back
together.
when they tried to
right?
bring the Hills back, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
I think now is the time.
Well, I mean, they
though.
just brought back Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nikki. So, I mean, there's a love for it.
But I mean that I think that this will be, I think that the best thing would be like a rebuild their home, like make it a home show kind of thing. Because a platform like HGTV or whatever it is, I think that would sort of be the best place.
God,
because
the Scott brothers?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like they could be on the next season of Celebrity IOU.
Yeah, well, no, because they're the ones getting the house.
Yeah,
I owe us.
I owe us.
Yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
The Wiggles have a new country song out with Dasha. Have you heard this yet?
No.
No? Listen to this, bro.
Wiggle up, boots on the ground, wiggle up, go round and round.
Wow.
Wiggle up,
What a great country song. I'm so happy.
wiggle up, boots on the ground, wiggle up, go round and round. Wiggle up, you got it now. Get up, down, wiggle down. Can you wiggle this way? Step 2 and 3. Step 2, 3. Can you wiggle that way?
What a great song.
Right?
Yeah. They're doing a whole country album.
It's Wiggle Up, Giddy Up is the name of the track.
I ain't mad.
Bro.
That's such a happy song.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm A-okay with this.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah.
Do you know who's featured on the album when it comes out? Dolly Parton.
Yeah, no, I know.
No,
There's a
Dolly
whole-
Parton and the
there's a-
Wiggles?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people on their country album, which is kind of cool.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Netflix has delayed the release of Meghan Markle's new show that she already got raked over the coals once for.
Oh, jeez.
It was supposed to be January 15th, which is this week. They've now moved it to March 4th because of the timing of the fires and everything else that's going on in LA, and that her gallivanting around her big giant house, which I guess wasn't even her house.
What do you mean?
They used a prop house, but everybody was like, "Oh my God, I love your garden, I love your kitchen," and it was just like people do that all the time in reality shows and cooking shows.
No, they don't.
Yeah, of course they do.
What?
They've always done that.
No, they don't.
All the way back to MTV Cribs. Most of those houses weren't their houses.
Wasn't?
No.
Why you gotta ruin it for everybody?
No.
Like, look at my fridge full of Cristal.
No, most of those houses were not the homes that those
But
people
that's
lived
the
in.
imagination,
What?
Roz.
No, that was supposed to be the reality.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Look it up right now. Most of the homes on MTV were not the homes
What
that those
about
people
Redman's
lived in.
dirty ass place from Cribs in Jersey?
That was the
that
best.
was that had to be that was
That-
probably I think that was like their highest rated one, right? Or most rewatched?
Hold on here.
Hold on. Okay. MTV Cribs. What are the? Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
Do the homes belong to the celebs?
Yeah. There's like video on video on video talking about all the.
Mostly just had actors and musicians pretending to own stuff that actually they didn't own. Oh man, come on!
One of them, Redman. There's an actual question that says rapper Redman didn't lie about his celebrity crib, revealing his small Staten Island home.
Yeah.
Refreshingly honest look at his real life.
Yeah, because that's what most of them would have looked like.
Yeah.
Right? But everybody
Like
was
pizza boxes everywhere.
Yeah.
His homies like just sitting there smoking
Yeah,
blunts.
yeah, but like everybody else, those weren't their houses. Those weren't their houses.
Oh my God! There's an almost 12-minute video on YouTube called "Celebrities Who Totally Lied About Their Homes on MTV Cribs."
Yes,
I'm adding that to my watch later.
Yeah, yeah. You ever watch House Hunters, Maria?
No.
So The Trick with House Hunters, very, very popular show. But I knew the producer who used to do House Hunters and House Hunters International, right? And because they would always show them 3 houses, right?
Yeah.
So it was a couple, they were house hunting, they would show them 3 houses. And it was always ridiculous things. Like, remember when people would walk into a beautiful home and they would go, yeah, I just don't know about that towel rack, right? Like really ridiculous things would throw them off.
Yeah.
And the trick with House Hunters was that if you ever watched the show, one of the houses was empty, meaning it looked like a house that was moved out of, right? That was always going to be the house they picked because in order to get on House Hunters, you had to have just recently purchased a home.
Oh.
What?
And then,
they show you all these beautiful houses?
And then what they do is they go and find 2 other houses in the neighborhood. Some of them weren't even for sale. They would just talk to the owners and say, hey, can we shoot your house? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. What are you going to give me? They're like, $2,000? Cool, no problem.
But what if the other houses are better than the one you bought?
No, because on House Hunters...
Then you have to pick something that you don't like?
Yes, it had to end with a purchase, right? Because oftentimes deals fall through. You can't get the funding. They don't have time for that. So if you wanted to be on House Hunters, you had to have just recently purchased a home, and then you could apply.
But then, wait. Did you have to end up with the house that you bought?
There was no choice.
Yeah, because you already bought
You
that
were
house.
showing them.
But you couldn't like trade it?
No, you were
Oh.
shooting. You were shooting the home you just purchased.
That's ridiculous.
And then they would just shoot 2 other homes where you would go in. And oftentimes those other homes were way better than the empty one, but they would always have to find something wrong with it.
You know, sometimes I just want reality TV
Right?
to just be reality TV.
There's another video here, 17 minutes long. The history and fakery of MTV Cribs.
Yes.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Chuck D is telling fans to stop using Public Enemy's Burn Hollywood Burn in videos about the fire.
No.
So Chuck D released a statement saying that anyone associating Public Enemy's Burn Hollywood Burn with the Los Angeles wildfires is misrepresenting the group's original intentions. He says Burn Hollywood Burn is a protest song. The track was extracted from the Watts Rebellion and has nothing to do with families losing everything they have in a natural disaster. Learn the history. Godspeed, and to those in loss. And I think it was Isabella Rossellini posted a picture. She went back to look at her burned out place, and I guess her Academy Award was sitting there, all burnt up. So there was that. And Dennis Quaid, I gotta play you this. A lot of people coming to Dennis Quaid to give their support. So he was evacuating and he was loading his car up with just stuff from the house, like his kids' clothes and stuff like this. And it really seemed that the guy from NBC News I guess maybe they have a rapport. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to keep it light, but it really seemed like he was goofing on him.
And we are all one community, and unfortunately, we're not all one big car. So I am
just going to fit.
They're trying. Okay.
We've all been there.
Oh.
Okay, listen. So it's just this is what we're doing here. We're at Mandeville Canyon and Sunset, and listen. And all jokes aside, and it's nice to smile, and it's nice to be able to watch Dennis Quaid try to do something that he's not going to be able to do, which is try to fit 2 hampers of his 17-year-old daughter's clothes into a Mercedes. But Mandeville is they've lost power here. Their power line's down. There was an active firefight here.
They turned it off on purpose. They turned off the power.
What did Dennis Quaid say?
Dennis Quaid says they turned the power off on purpose because, they don't want the lines to cause another fire if they fall down.
Thanks for making me look
okay.
around. Okay. They turned the power lines off on purpose, sources say. Residents say. And I think you want to go.
If you know where your gas line is, and when you get evacuated,
he's kind of goofing on it,
release,
right?
Yeah.
Turn off your gas before you leave.
That's not cool, man.
I just want to check.
Anyway,
can you see out the back window? Because I don't.
Oh my God!
Okay.
No. That's super
Right.
rude.
So
That's
anyway,
rude.
a lot of people coming to Dennis Quaid's
that's rude, man.
defense.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
A story I was just reading, the headline is Justin Bieber needs the money and is planning a 2025 musical comeback. How does Justin Bieber need the money? Didn't he sell his catalog for like a staggering amount of money? Or
Something billion, right?
Does he not own it? Or did it go to like so many people that he's not reaping the benefits from it? Or
Does Scooter Braun own it all?
I don't know. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't really care. As long as he comes back on tour, I'm there.
I'd be happy to hear Justin Bieber
He
with new
would.
music again.
Oh my God. We need a Justin Bieber Eras tour.
The problem with Bieber, though, is that the stuff that he's released a lot has been a little too not what you want Bieber to do, right? He's had a few too many of those, I think.
Why, his last few albums? Come on.
Yeah.
Do you understand how many people would pay to hear him just saying
Hey,
baby.
he's really, but he won't though. He doesn't do it the way you want him to do it.
Yeah.
He could do it
does.
acoustic. He could sing it in any
He's
version.
done it. He's done it, and it's not what people want. I'm with you. I think that Bieber could totally come back and do like a banger pop album, but I just don't think he would.
I hope.
I don't think he
I don't know.
would.
I felt bad. Like the last tour that he had to then stop because he was going through stuff.
Oh God, he went through hell.
Yeah, like that was a monster tour, and people were so excited.
Yeah.
I was excited to see him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When he
But the album
came
wasn't
through
good,
town.
though.
The album didn't perform the way they had expected.
Yeah.
But
You can say it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
there were like 2 songs on there that were good.
For an album, it wasn't a good album.
But I'm a fan of Bieber, and I know he went through stuff, and he's a new dad now. So
I think it'd be a very different album if he were to come out with one now. Very emotional. I think very well written, intentional, and I think that's why it'd be amazing for him to create
But
one.
you still want to go see him, so he'll do Baby.
I'll see him sing anything on stage.
Yeah,
I don't know. He can sing Happy Birthday a million times. I'd be fine with it.
Oh, damn.
He's got an amazing voice. I grew up watching
It
him.
costs a fortune to sing that many.
Listen.
Happy birthday that many times. You can't pay the royalties on that if you're on tour.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Tyler Perry is calling out the insurance companies in Los Angeles, writing on social media. He says, watching a daughter use a garden hose to try and protect her 90-year-old parents' house because their insurance was canceled was just gut-wrenching to me. Does anyone else find it appalling that insurance companies can take billions of dollars out of communities for years and then all of a sudden be allowed to cancel millions of policies for everyone that they became rich on? The LA Times reported that insurance companies, big insurance companies like State Farm in general, the largest home insurers in California, announced that they would not be renewing thousands of home insurance policies in Pacific Palisades back in 2024. California does have what they call the FAIR plan, but people who did buy into that, it's very expensive. And I think the max payout is $3 million is what you're covered for. And so many of those houses are worth so much more.
Yeah.
And they canceled it because what winds up happening is that if they allowed these insurance policies to go, they wouldn't be able to cover something like this because they started canceling them after the Malibu fires that happened, because there's like the state does no sort of fire mitigation. They're not clearing anything, and they got a sense of what could go wrong after Malibu, and then they started canceling people's policies for
And
fire.
this is on such a larger scale.
A huge scale.
Right.
And so right now, the number that the people are throwing around as far as the total damage is $135 to $150 billion in total damage. They were saying that $20 billion could be the payout for the insurance companies, which is, do they even have $20 billion? Right? I don't even know. I don't even know if they have $20 billion to cover the losses. So it's an incredible part of this story.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
NFL yesterday, wild card weekend. Bills over Broncos, Eagles over Packers, Commanders over Buccaneers. But during the Philadelphia game, wide receiver A.J. Brown raised eyebrows because he was sitting on the bench in between two players, two teammates during the fourth quarter, and he reaches behind him and pulls out a book.
Okay.
In the fourth quarter while the game is still on, and just starts reading. So here's the commentary on that.
So A.J. Brown, well, we're figuring that out. He, he's a little frustrated. Obviously, he hasn't seen too many balls today. He's going to read a little passage here.
Hey, I haven't seen too many people read books, but I've seen a quarterback eat a hot dog.
So that hot dog reference was for New York Jets QB Mark Sanchez. Remember a while ago when he got caught eating a hot dog during the game? Yeah, so that's what he was talking about then.
Wait,
but the book that A.J. Brown was reading, because they talked to him after the game.
Yeah.
And the book that he was reading, because everybody was like, bro, the game is still on. What are you doing reading the book, right? But the book is called Inner Excellence. Train your mind for extraordinary performance and the best possible life. And then they talked to him after the game, and he said, it gives me a sense of peace, talking about the book. That's a book I bring every single game. My teammates call it a recipe. It's got a lot of points in there. a lot of mental game. So, like, why not, right?
He's just trying to amp himself up.
Amping himself up. He's got and the book looks like it looked used. Like when you see the book.
Oh, good for him.
Bunch of notes, highlights.
Yeah, everything.
And
Right?
he was struggling yesterday. So part of the reason part of the reason he picked up the book was because he was having a tough game.
I co-sign that.
Yeah, so
totally.
do I.
Let a man do his thing.
Yeah, because it wasn't. I get if he's like reading whatever, right?
Yeah.
But this is like the book that he carries around with him everywhere,
Good for him.
which is great. Good for him.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
That book that A.J. Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles is reading on the sidelines during the fourth quarter of the game the other night. It was a book called Inner Excellence: Train Your Mind for Extraordinary Performance and the Best Possible Life. And then everybody's like, what is he doing reading? And then he did an interview after the game where he said that the book gives him a sense of peace. And he goes, that's a book I bring to every single game. My teammates call it a recipe. It's got a lot of points in there, a lot of mental game. And the book is now number 1 on Amazon.
No. What's it called? Inner what?
It's called Inner Excellence: Train Your Mind for Extraordinary Performance. And the guy who wrote it was talking to ESPN, and he goes, I was not expecting that. It was a real gift. I just looked at Amazon last night, and the book got to number 1, so that was a surprise. I had probably never been higher than maybe 8,000 or 9,000.
Wow. Here we go. Oh, they got an audiobook. Perfect.
Do they?
Yeah.
So
10 hours and 29
I didn't
minutes.
know much about this book, but I thought that it was like something that everybody was reading. But I guess it was a small book, and then he gave it to someone. He's from Texas, the author, and then he gave it to someone who trains athletes. And that there was a football player who was in Texas training, and then he wound up being shipped off to Philly, and then he gave the book to AJ. And then, so it was the same book. Like, he was finished with it, and then he just gave the actual same physical copy of this book to A.J. Brown, and that's what he's been reading. So it's not like this was like a wildly available thing that like everybody in that sort of world was reading. It was a super niche book that a couple of guys were really into, and now it's number 1.
Well, guess what? Jim Murphy just got my $15.
Did you buy it?
Yeah.
There you go. You buy that stuff on your phone, huh?
Yeah, I'll read that, Joy. Or listen to it. It's audiobook.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I've never purchased anything from Amazon on my phone.
That's like the best way to purchase it. It's so quick and fast.
Add to cart or buy now.
No, that is a computer. That is a computer activity.
No, it's
I do
not.
Yeah, I do not do that on my phone. I don't make purchases like that.
You have
on my
so
phone.
much to learn.
No, I need to see it big, or I don't buy it.
Don't you wear glasses?
Yeah, I don't wear binoculars.
You might need some.
That's facts.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Watched the season finale of Landman yesterday. Really enjoyed that.
Who's in that again?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, that's it. And it's oil,
And
right?
John Hamm and Demi Moore
Right.
and Ali Larder.
Ali Larder.
And Billy Bob's 69 years old.
Is he?
Yeah, he's 69. And Entertainment Weekly was asking him about season 2, and he goes, I understand that if we're going to do it, season 2, that it's going to be sometime in and around February or March. I mean, we'll see. It depends on how the chips may fall. And I had no idea, but as of right now, Landman hasn't even officially been renewed for a second season.
Oh,
That's crazy, especially because he was just nominated for an award for it.
Yeah.
it will. Come on.
I hope so.
But if it hasn't been renewed yet, it will, yes, which means you guys aren't going to get season 2 for like maybe 2.5 years.
I know.
But Ali Larder, right, Chef?
Facts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's so awesome in that show. She's so awesome. Oh, my God. She's so great. She's an absolute disaster, but like a heart of gold. And, you know, like she's just, the first couple episodes, the women on that show were written so poorly. But then when you sort of like understand the world, you realize where they were going with them, which is kind of cool, I guess.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, Canada's first WNBA team says it is dropping merch today.
Hey.
So Toronto Tempo jerseys are going to start popping up, even though the season does not begin until 2026.
I'm down.
So look out for that.
I'm wearing a WNBA hoodie right now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Let me see. Is it a different picture on there? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see. I see. I gotcha. I gotcha.
You see, they were sponsored by Sephora.
I know.
That's wild.
Yeah. Which is
Love
really
that.
great. Where am I here?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Great article in the Wall Street Journal talking about how all the gym rats are praying for everybody's resolutions to be over so they can get their gyms back. They call them resolutionaries.
Yeah.
And they hate this time of year. It's because everybody shows up and clogs up the gym, filming videos and watching Netflix on the treadmill, and it's driving them crazy, and they just can't wait for everybody to fail
Maria,
in their resolution.
how's your because you work out quite frequently. You go to the same gym every week. Have you noticed the increase in people?
Yeah, so I mean, at the spin studio I teach at, there's definitely an increase, which I love because the classes are fun. They're definitely great for getting back into New Year's resolution. But at my gym, the worst part is the people that come and they just sit and talk on the machines and they hang out and they're scrolling on their phone and they're just like, they don't know what's happening, where to go, what to do. And it's fine, you're getting back into the gym, but like, don't hog machines and don't stand there like you don't know what you're doing.
They're just being social.
Yeah.
Is it harder to, you don't do classes, do you, Mocha?
Just boxing.
You do classes, Maury.
Yeah,
Maria,
I do.
you teach classes.
Yeah, and I do both.
Is it harder to book a class this time of year?
It sure is.
Really,
I'm
eh?
stuck on treadmill 25.
What does that mean?
Like in the corner.
Out of how many?
I'm in the last treadmill.
Yeah, there's 25.
I'm stuck on treadmill. I don't even know what that means. That sounds like a sci-fi thing.
Well, because on Barry's boot camp, you either start on a treadmill or you start on the floor. Then you alternate with the person that has your same number.
And so what does that mean with 25, Maury?
So I'm in the corner right next to the mirror. So if I'm running, my arm keeps banging against the wall.
You got to look at all that, huh? While you're running.
There's a mirror beside you and in front of you.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, no.
That's not good. So anyway, the resolutionaries, I'm sure, will all be out of there soon.
Yeah, get out.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
The Weeknd has officially postponed the release date for his upcoming album and canceled his show in Los Angeles, saying, "My focus remains on supporting the recovery of these communities and aiding its incredible people as they rebuild." And Beyonce was supposed to have a big announcement today that she teased when she did the NFL halftime show on Christmas Day. She said the January 14th announcement will be postponed until a later date due to the devastation caused by the ongoing wildfires around areas of Los Angeles. I continue to pray for healing and rebuilding for the families suffering from trauma and loss. Tom Brady, because he's on the road now doing all the playoff football games, so he's not able, because he just finished renovating his, I think it was like a 14,000 square foot house or something like that, $20 million.
Holy.
And he is paying private security to stand guard.
Oh yeah. Because of all the looters
in front of his house, because because of the looters. They've arrested like dozens of people that have been caught looting homes. Some of them are showing up dressed as firemen. And then breaking into homes.
And then you had that one guy last week that like actually set fire to a home.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's he's hired a private company. I wonder if Kanye, remember that house that Kanye was building, that like bunker out
the concrete.
All concrete was right on the beach. I wonder if that thing made it, because you have to think that it would have, right?
But it was all open. But I guess like
it's concrete
right?
though, because when you see all those houses, like the crazy thing is that you see all these rubbles of houses, but then you see the fireplace made out of brick, still standing
there,
still there.
Yeah, if anything,
right?
it's just the homes on either side.
Yeah,
those properties on either side.
Yeah, and Snoop was on with Jimmy Kimmel last night, and Snoop feeling the devastation of all this.
How's your family? Everybody's doing good. The family's doing good. Just a couple of intermediate people that I do know that I consider family that, lost everything. So, we did what we do. We come and we support and we pull our troops together and we make sure that we represent and we give them everything that they need.
Do you feel like, do you think it's difficult for people who don't live here to understand the scale of this event, the magnitude of what happened here and what's happening here?
I think individually that the world sees its own tragedy, because if you think about New Orleans, they see their tragedy. You think about certain parts of the world that get tornadoes and things of that nature, which takes the whole city away. It's just California, this is like our first time dealing with it. And the way that California is coming together, the way that the world is helping us, that's the important thing, is that people are coming together and they're not looking at differences, they're just looking at trying to make a difference.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Are all the late night shows back now?
Well, he's the only one that shoots in L.A.
Oh, right.
Everybody else
yeah,
shoots.
yeah.
Everybody else shoots in New York.
But what about the
right?
other shows that said that they were going to take a hiatus? Like all the game shows, let's say.
I don't know. Maury would probably know. Or the game
They're
shows?
all still on hold.
They're all still on
Jeopardy
hold.
just paused.
Yeah. I
Wow,
don't.
that's crazy.
I don't know. Oh my
I keep forgetting that Kimmel's like in L.
Well,
that
he's-
everybody else is in New York and Kimmel's the only one in L.A.
Because it used to be that Letterman was the only one in New York.
Yes.
Right. And now everybody's in New York.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
TikTok is denying a report that China is looking at a deal that would facilitate the sale of TikTok to Elon Musk before the U.S. government bans it, which is the 19th. Bloomberg is the one that actually reported that Chinese officials are evaluating a potential option that involves Elon acquiring TikTok. They were asked and said, we can't be expected to comment on pure fiction. TikTok is in danger, as we know, of being outlawed in the U.S. under a law that takes effect on the 19th unless the Supreme Court issues a ruling. Now, on Friday, TikTok and their lawyers were in front of judges arguing their side of the case, trying to block the ban. But the justices seem to lean towards being more on the side of the government's position that TikTok represents a national security threat and it falls under the jurisdiction of the Chinese Communist Party. So they had their day in front of judges. The 19th is coming up fast.
It's on Sunday.
And if nobody does anything from now until then, there will be no TikTok in the U.S., which is crazy to think about.
Everyone here is good, right?
Everybody here is good.
For now.
They just want to shut down the offices here, which is weird.
Yeah.
For some insane reason.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Lily Allen is taking a pause from her podcast. I think it's called Miss Me, and she is checked into I guess it's a $10,000 a week trauma clinic after spiraling. So she was married to David Harbour from Stranger Things. They met on Raya, the celebrity dating app, and then I guess she got tipped off or whatever, and then she went on Raya, and all these years later found that his profile was back up, and then suspected him of cheating. Here is Lily Allen on her podcast.
I'm really not in a good place. I know I've been talking about it for months, but I've been spiraling, and it's got out of control. I came to the Christmas lunch, the Miss Me Christmas lunch, and I had a panic attack and had to go home. I went to see something at the theatre the other night with my friend Carla and Claire, and I had to leave at half time. I can't concentrate on anything except the pain that I'm going through.
Oh, poor girl.
So she's taking a break from the podcast.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
The question is Justin Timberlake being a jerk in this clip, or were these kids being annoying? So to set it up, Justin is driving in his car, right? He's not stopped. He's not anything. He's driving, and there's a car full of kids, teenagers, I guess, following him where they recognize that it's Justin Timberlake driving. Okay. Then they get to a stoplight, and they roll down their window, and then they start yelling at Justin Timberlake, and then his response is, he seems annoyed, but is he annoyed because they're being jerks, or was he the jerk and just snubbed fans?
Oh, fucking Justin Timberlake! Yeah, bro! We've been around big time! Yeah, bro!
Yeah, Justin Timberlake!
Bro, roll down the window!
Roll down the window!
You want something?
Let's race!
You want something?
No. Let's race!
You want something?
No. Let's race! Stop!
Get out of here,
Okay.
So hold on. Were they following him?
Yeah, they were following him.
Okay.
Yes.
So they recognized him
and then followed him until he stopped, and then
I don't think JT was being a jerk there.
No. Also, you didn't say, "Hey, man, you were like, want to race?"
Yeah. That was
Like,
your big line there, guys.
Yeah, that's your play. You got it. Justin Timberlake to roll down his window.
Every single one of them had their phones out. Obviously, one of them, because we have this clip.
Yes.
Right? But
yes.
if they recognized while he was driving and then they deliberately followed him to pull this nonsense, I'm on JT's side with this.
No consequences for that DUI, though, huh? Still driving around. Look at that.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
According to a new survey, 1 in 5 Gen Zers, so 1 in 5 people between the ages of 18 and 27, claim that they can't change a light bulb.
Come on now.
And they would have to hire somebody to do it, especially if it was a ceiling light. because going on a ladder is, quote, too dangerous.
Do you know how to change a light bulb?
Yeah.
Would
I
you
do.
Would you get on a ladder?
The only question I have, which sometimes I would be worried about, is do I have to turn off the electricity to change the light bulb?
Turn off the electricity?
Yeah, like so I don't get shocked.
Like from the breaker?
Like I know how to. I know. Yeah.
Then you do not know how to change a light bulb.
But I know how to go up there, you unscrew it, and you screw one back in, you put the cap back on, and go back down.
You cannot claim to know how to change a light bulb if you don't know whether or not you need to shut off the breaker.
I don't think I do. As
You
long
don't-
as the light's
Okay.
off.
Have you ever, so you have changed.
If the light bulb is burned out, how would you know if the light's off?
Because I would have turned it on before. I just have to make sure that
But what
it's
if the,
on.
what if the switch is up, though?
Yeah, I probably have to hire someone or call my dad.
So the report found that Gen Zers are spending more than $1,500 a year on average calling in pros to do basic jobs they should be able to know how to do themselves. The survey also found that a lot of Gen Zers don't know how to do basic car maintenance.
Yo, Maria, the look on your face right now.
You asked me to change oil?
Yep.
Wouldn't know where to start.
you
The
know how
only
to-
thing that I know how to do in my car is put windshield washer
That's going to
fluid.
be my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it, Maury goes to the dealer to get his sticker changed.
Oh, okay.
Well, before when we used to.
When you used to have to have a
do the
sticker.
sticker. You know the sticker, Maria?
Yep.
Every
I
time
got
we
pulled
birth-
over once because mine was expired.
Yeah. So Maury would drive to his Toyota
the dealer.
dealership and have
To
them
stick it on?
replace the sticker.
And then we
Yes.
hang out and have coffee in the waiting room.
But why? What was it about the why? What can you do? Was there like a cover on it or
There
something?
was a cover, and so I would go, and Anthony would take the cover off, put the sticker on.
Because you didn't have a screwdriver.
Well, it was like a weird nut.
Yes, you
So
are.
many problems in life originate from one weird nut.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Timothy Chalamet, the battle between Timothy Chalamet and Adrian Brody going into the Academy Awards is heating up.
Why?
Well, Adrian Brody just did a big, huge profile on CBS Sunday Morning, and then he did the shirtless pic on New York Magazine because they both want the best actor in a drama.
Best dressed?
Right? Not best dressed, best actor in a drama. And Timothy Chalamet was announced that he's going to be
What's the other guy?
Adrian Brody.
Oh, do I know this guy?
Yeah, you do. Timothy Chalamet is going to be doing Saturday Night
Oh,
Live.
I know this guy.
Both
Yeah,
hosting and singing Bob Dylan songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's his own musical guest. He's going to sing Bob
Sure.
Dylan. Going to sing Bob Dylan songs. Apparently, 60 Minutes is also going to do a big profile on Timothy Chalamet. So
Oh, wow.
So it's really like between the two of them, and
It's
they're
his
kind
year.
of going back and forth because now they're doing a lot of press. But you can't do a lot because Los Angeles is really going through it right
Yeah.
now, right? You didn't see The Brutalist, right?
The what?
The Adrian Brody movie? You didn't
No.
see that.
The
Maury,
Brutalist?
did you see The Brutalist? No.
What's it about?
It's a 3 hour, 45-minute fictional
Sorry.
story of maybe like a Jewish architect. I'm guessing something like that. I don't know for sure,
Not in
but I
one
think
sitting.
that's what it is. But yeah, it's 3:45.
Well, there's an intermission.
Yeah, there's an intermission.
In the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's long.
Like legit, like
It's
halfway
long.
through,
Yeah.
it says intermission.
I guess. Yeah. Well, that's a long movie.
No,
3:45.
You know what was
Bro.
brilliant? You guys remember when Irishman came out on Netflix?
Yeah,
the
I-
gangster movie from Scorsese.
Yeah.
And like all the giants were in it, right? Joe Pesci and De Niro,
De Niro and Pacino. Yeah.
And that was like well over, I think it was like 3.5 or something, right?
Yeah.
And somebody had broken it down into chapters. It was like, if you're going to watch this movie, watch it like a TV show. Here is where you start and stop each like quote unquote episode.
5 days is what it took me.
Uh-huh.
It took me. I watched
And I
it.
thought
I
that
watched it
was
over the
great.
course of 5 days.
I think I watched it in one sitting.
I
or
hated
maybe-
it.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it at all.
Maybe because it took you 5 days. You couldn't.
Maybe I should have just sat. I don't have time to sit through something like that.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
A new study found that the indoor temperature significantly affects older adults' ability to concentrate. Even in their own homes. Shut up, Maury. Even in their own homes where they control the climate. So they did a year-long study monitoring 47 community-dwelling adults aged 65 and older. Attention spans were optimal within a very specific temperature range and declined when rooms became either too hot or too cold. So here's the sweet spot for cognitive function. What do you have your house set at? You don't know? How do you not know?
21 or 20.
You don't know what your house
In
is
and
set
around
at?
there.
Damn. What's that in freedom units?
Frig, I don't know.
Oh, okay. So they say this. They say the optimal temperature is 68 to 75, which is 20 to 24.
Okay, that's where
Right?
I am.
Right in there, 20 to 24. But they say when temperatures deviate from that, even by just a couple of degrees in either direction, participants were twice as likely to report difficulty maintaining attention on simple tasks.
Oh, damn.
That's me.
That's you?
That's me.
Honestly, that's us in here too.
That's me. That's,
You and Shem?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
If it's freezing in here some days, and Shem and I are just
Facts.
trembling in our seats.
You guys need jackets.
So Ross is not the only one struggling.
yeah, I have that fight all the time. Anyway, that's the sweet
Wait,
spot.
do you have the fight with your family?
Well, of course I do.
Why, do you want it warmer and they want it colder?
No, I much prefer in the winter, I much prefer a little bit cooler so I can have a blanket. I hate being hot in a house in the winter.
You're going to walk around with a blanket? Like a
No,
nana?
like on the couch.
Oh.
I don't
Like
want
a
to walk
snuggie?
around with a blanket.
Bro,
I'm not a
you need
hobo.
Maria?
He needs a
Great
snuggie.
idea.
No.
Great idea.
No.
Yeah,
you can put Roz on the back of it so they know it's
those
yours.
Things, those things were so flammable. You can't sit in front of a fire with a snuggie. That's bad news. It's bad news. Anyway, that's the sweet spot for your old people in your life, okay? 68 to 75, 20 to 24. Keep it there for them. Don't argue.
Is that what the temperature's like in the room?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Man, that Shawn Mendes album came out, and we were playing a bunch of the songs off it, like, before it was released, and it came out, and it debuted at, like, number 26. No. Yeah.
It's like his last album, too. It was such a good...
And
like,
he debuted twice at number one. His first album debuted at number one.
What's going on?
I don't know what's going on. I thought the stuff that we played was real good. Remember that? Here's a little bit of that.
You could move away, you could build a home with somebody I don't know. Doesn't matter what you say, it's not ever gonna change. You can fight the truth till your face turns blue.
I guess. I don't know.
People are...
I don't know.
You guys are... Maria, Shem, you guys aren't feeling
This
it.
is not the one that I liked. There was another one on there that I really liked.
Yeah, I prefer my Shawn Mendes with like big pop anthemic. That's how I like him. But I also think he's sort of get caught up in the whole Taylor Swift dominated the year, hip hop dominated the year. It's kind of tough.
Yeah.
You get lost.
And Gwen Stefani had a new album that I didn't even know.
Oh, for real?
Album called Bouquet. Listen to this.
We met when my heart was broken. Thank God that yours was too. So lucky that you were going through what I was going through.
Anybody?
No, this ain't it. Sorry,
Thoughts?
guys.
Maury's not even grooving. Nobody's grooving. No,
And I
nobody's
love Gwen
grooving.
Stefani, but...
This debuted at number 95 on Billboard.
Still top 100.
95, though, for Gwen Stefani. I didn't even know that album was out. I'm a huge Gwen Stefani fan.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So a BC man who won $2 million in the lottery a couple of years ago, who was also part of a workplace lotto pool, has been told that he does not have to split his winnings with his former coworkers, or I guess his current coworkers.
What?
So the
Big part of the pool.
BC Supreme Court ruled that the winning ticket was the sole property of Mandeep Singh Mann, and that all the winnings were his, and he does not have to share. So the case revolved around this guy and his 4 coworkers who all worked together and agreed to pool money to buy lottery tickets back in 2021 and 2022 when this happened. The judge ruled that, quote, no one person was ever responsible for the group ticket purchase, and the decision on who would buy the tickets for any given week or day was made from purchase to purchase spontaneously. So he was never the sole guy in charge.
It wasn't established like every Tuesday and Friday or once a week, we're going to buy these tickets.
Right. I think it was more like, hey, are we doing lottery pool? You want to get the tickets today? I'll get the tickets.
Yeah.
They did have a WhatsApp group chat together where when that did happen, somebody would take a picture of the lotto tickets and send it to the WhatsApp group chat. That didn't happen with this. So ultimately, the question then was, was it set up, and was that ticket a pooled ticket? And
So what, like Mandeep Singh Dap was like, nah, this was like a solo ticket?
This was a solo ticket, and then the judge also pointed out in a ruling that that man was, quote, a committed and prolific lottery player on his own account for many years after having his interest peaked in the lottery when he won a washing machine in the lottery in India years ago. She then went on to say that he spends about $400 a month on his own on lottery tickets.
Yikes.
So it was a $6 ticket that he bought, and he won $2 million, and he finally gets to keep the whole
Here's
thing.
the thing. Like, I know on the Lotto app, for example, right?
Yeah.
That I use. There's like a section there where you could print out or I guess digitally send to like your coworkers. Like let's say if we had a pool and we would all sign it saying like we agreed to this, and like if if a ticket hits, then we all split.
Yes.
But this
Because
guy
if we were all buying tickets as a group, you should split the money.
Absolutely. And it would have been like established every, once a week. We're all one person is going to be responsible for buying these tickets. Right?
Sure.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Blake Shelton talking about how hard Post Malone parties.
Even still, huh?
I used to think I could go pretty hard back in the day. Nobody I've ever met has anything on Post Malone. I mean, he is living a stereotypical country song every day of his life.
Wow. Is that surprising to anybody?
It's not surprising, but I thought Post Malone kind of like cut back on some of that stuff.
I think he did, though.
Yeah.
I think he just still like has a good time.
Yeah. He seemed, you know what? Post seems like the nicest guy to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get into any trouble.
You put like him and Jelly Roll in a room, and I think they would be the best time ever.
I drink whiskey with them guys.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Oh, possible new couple alert. Let me know how you feel about this. 52-year-old Sofia Vergara, because remember she was with, what's that guy's name?
Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello. Let me know how you guys feel about this. 52-year-old Sofia Vergara possibly hooking up with 40-year-old Lewis Hamilton. Happy about that, everybody? I'm looking at faces
good
in the
for
room.
her and good for him. That is a hot couple.
Yeah,
they are
that
both
is.
gorgeous. I hope so.
Shem?
I'm hating.
Why? Because you can't get Sofia Vergara?
Damn it, Maury. I'm jealous. You're jealous.
Of Lewis Hamilton?
No, of her.
Of her.
No, but I mean, I love it. That is amazing. He's beautiful.
I think Maria's more excited about Lewis Hamilton and Sofia Vergara dating than Lewis Hamilton and Sofia Vergara dating.
Apparently they were at a restaurant in New York sitting side by side at a table.
Yeah.
And then other people joined them, but then they carried their conversation out on the street, and she barely ate anything, apparently.
What?
Because she was so into the conversation.
Yeah, that's what happens.
So they called her a cougar in this headline I was reading.
How? What's the age difference?
She's 52, he's 40.
Oh, who cares?
She looks 33.
Yeah, she looks great. I don't know why she did that movie where she played that drug dealer though.
Oh, Griselda.
Yeah. But even still, they tried to really, really ugly her up for that.
The's no,
right?
It's not happening.
She's too beautiful.
And
no makeup artist in the world.
Bro, and then you go back and you look at the picture of what the real Griselda looked like.
Oh,
right? And I'm like,
okay. She sounds. Sorry, the real Griselda.
Yeah.
Looks the way that name sounds.
Yes. She looks like if I said to you right now, draw Griselda, right? You would draw that.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
David Schwimmer, when he was 18, got a job with his mom because I guess he was out of work and just out of school.
Okay.
And it may have been like one of the coolest jobs for an 18-year-old to ever get. Listen to this.
Did you work with your mom?
One summer after my freshman year in college, I was just looking for work, and my mom said, well, you can be a process server for me. My mom was a divorce lawyer, and so you'd be the guy. I was the guy who
would pop out of the bushes?
Who would pop out of the bushes and serve you divorce papers.
No.
Yeah.
So, and at the time I was 18, I was like, I'm like James Bond. I'm not James Bond. I mean, because you get a tip, you're tipped off as to where they might be, right? And once, oh man.
Oh no.
Thank goodness I've never run into him since. But I served Rod Stewart.
Oh my goodness. Bruh.
I don't even know if he knows. I don't think he knows.
He knows now.
He knows now.
Facts.
Change your locks, man. He is vengeful. Oh, he's vengeful.
He's not here, is he?
Rod? Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
You could theoretically run into Rod Stewart sometime.
And
now he knows to punch you.
No.
Oh, no.
I would love that job, especially when I was a teenager, being the guy. Yeah. Hey, how's it going on, man? What's going on?
You're John Smith, right?
Yeah. You've been served. Yeah. Oh,
I think I would cry if I had that job.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm so sorry.
No, you can't. You got to be balls out with that. And I would dress up too. I'd be like those guys in movies where you dress up as like the valet and stuff.
Oh, but
right?
You wouldn't have to though.
Yeah,
because they don't know who you are.
He just would though.
No, I would. I'm full disguises and everything.
Yeah,
to me that's a cool job. Serving people. Right?
Yeah, if you like to see people in pain.
Sure.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
You know my motto, I'm not happy until you're not happy.
Lovely.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I got to play this Jeff Daniels clip. Do you remember Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, of course.
So Dumb and Dumber, the toilet the toilet scene in Dumb and Dumber, speaking of norovirus, I guess Jeff Daniels had it. When he was on the toilet, and Jeff Daniels has talked a bit about this at the time, where he was very uneasy about shooting that scene where he gets explosive diarrhea.
Yeah,
and it was
toilet don't work.
And it was a conversation that he had with Jim Carrey that sort of led to him fully committing. But how fully was he committed?
Dumb and Dumber. We're in Salt Lake City, at the Osmond Studios. Okay. Jim's in Donnie's dressing room. I'm in Marie's. I don't know why.
But why not? That's a great dressing room.
And we're about to do the toilet scene. And thank you. And
you can't tell
I'm sitting in the chair going, oh my God, it's so real now. And Jim comes up. He goes, why so down, man? And I'm going, well, this is either the beginning of my career or the end of it, you know.
So, right now, this is so I got to really appreciate this moment.
And he says, you got to go all the way, man. You got to go all the way. And so I did. And there were takes that were 2 minutes long.
2 minutes?
On the toilet.
Trying to think of different
I'm
ways to...
I almost passed out. There's one close-up where I'm red in the... And I literally fade.
I think might be it.
Yeah, that might be
that's it.
Wow. And look at that.
Still,
and then went on to become like such an iconic scene.
That is a legendary scene.
Wow.
So,
big up
thank you, Jeff Daniels.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
The Grammy Awards are going to go ahead as planned. When you get that price more, just let me know. February 2nd. So a lot of the shows, a lot of the big concerts, football, everything else being canceled in and around LA. February 2nd, the Grammys will happen. The Academy says that they're going to refocus its aim of this year's show to support the fire relief efforts. The event will condense its, there's so many pre-Grammy things that go on that week.
Yeah.
Those are going to be pared down to just 4 events, each featuring a fundraising element. So Beyonce is leading the pack with 11 nominations, and that'll all go down on February 2nd.
Why don't they just do all that stuff in New York?
The Grammys?
Yeah.
No,
I guess it's too short notice. If you do it like Radio City Music Hall or something, or even at Barclays.
Yeah. I mean, the production is there, right?
I guess.
Like they know what, like to move the Grammys last minute like this, you wouldn't be able to pull it off, I don't think. And then get everybody there and all that stuff. And everybody's already going through hell in LA. Like a lot of those people are, I don't know. And I don't
Maybe
think
people just don't want to be that far away from their house.
And I also don't think that it helps with the fundraising efforts if you moved it out of LA. I think if it's gonna be fundraising focused, it has to be at Staples. Yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Justin Bieber is teasing a new music project. So this is something he posted on Instagram. And I don't know whether this is like a song or like what's going on, but you tell me.
You taking bait, I'm shaking. You're shaking off the hate. Okay. I'm shaking off the hate. Okay, I just bought a bike just to go out the country, and I'm not feeling nice. Got the sun on my skin. Okay.
That doesn't even sound like him.
Looking good on a Tuesday.
You know what it kind of sounds like?
What?
Sham, correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of sounds like SZA a little bit.
Yeah, I can see this. You know what? It feels like. You remember when Kanye West did that poopity scoopity doopity thing? It feels like a troll, is what it feels like. What it feels like.
You think so?
Yeah.
Poopity scoop. Scoopty dee whoop. Whoopty scoopty poop. Whoopty scoopty scoopty whoop. Whoopity scoop whoop scoopty whoop. Poop diddy whoop scoop. Poop. Scoopty dee whoop. Whoop diddy scoop. Whoop diddy scoop poop.
The lawsuit that Drake launched yesterday against Universal Music Group for publishing Not Like Us, the Kendrick song. Which the lawsuit says includes false allegations of pedophilia and calls for violent retribution against Drake. And that led to the incidents at Drake's home and damaged his reputation. The lawsuit is not about the artist, they say, of Not Like Us. So it's not about Kendrick. It is instead entirely about Universal Music Group, the music company that decided to publish, promote, exploit, and monetize allegations that it understood were not only false, but dangerous. The statement says when it came to the incidents at Drake's house, remember the shooting?
Yeah.
And at the time, it wasn't 100% confirmed if Drake was home during the shooting. The lawsuit confirms that he was. The statement says a group of armed assailants drove up to Drake's house in the middle of the night, and someone shouted an expletive before at least one person opened fire. One bullet hit the front door, and another hit a security guard, who was also Drake's friend, leaving Drake and his friends scrambling to keep the man alive for nearly a half hour while they waited for the ambulance. Wow. The claim also details another incident in which someone allegedly tried to break into his home on May 8th and mentions a third that happened on May 9th, where a man allegedly used his bare hands to dig a hole under the security fence surrounding Drake's house and managed to squeeze through onto the property. Security guards caught him before he could do anything, but the man allegedly yelled racist slurs and threats against Drake while they were removing him off the property. Universal Music Group denied these allegations, saying not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, is illogical, is what they had to say. So Drake is blaming them for everything.
I don't blame him.
Everything. Yeah.
Damn.
Because, like, that's supposed to be your label. That's supposed to be the people that have your back. And then they're going to allow another artist under the label to call you a pedophile.
I mean, Drake said some stuff, too.
Not a pedophile, though.
Yeah, but he said some stuff about other people, too, right?
He claimed that one of Kendrick's kids was actually fathered by his manager.
Right.
That the manager slept with Kendrick's wife.
Yeah. It's a dirty business. It's a dirty business, baby.
They both wrong.
Yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Mark Carney is holding an event today. He's going to officially launch his campaign to replace Justin Trudeau as the leader of the Liberals.
That guy.
Here's where it gets interesting, though, right? Because so Mark Carney is running. And I don't know. I can't not. And Chrystia Freeland is running. Okay, so Chrystia Freeland was the one that Justin Trudeau fired from the finance minister position, and then she wrote that scathing letter, right? I scorched earth, the whole deal.
Yeah.
So she's now come out to be like, hey, I'm running too. So she came up with the money. She's going to announce soon. So you got Chrystia Freeland and you got Mark Carney, right? And then, okay, but here's the thing. So normally in these campaigns, they kind of go at each other a little bit, even though they're vying for the same job with the same party, right? They both want to be the head of the Liberal Party. So here's where it gets interesting, is that if they ever start really going in on one another, right, with like the smack talk and everything else, here's what you need to know, is that Mark Carney is the godfather to Chrystia Freeland's kid.
No.
Yes.
I love this.
This is tea. This is tea.
Okay.
It's like a reality show.
So what they have now is you got Karina Gould, who is now throwing her hat into the ring as well.
Yeah.
And no, she has got no chance, right? But what it's looking like is that one party may be using, if they have dirt on the other one, they may use this woman in the middle, Karina Gould, to sort of say it for them. So they don't have to.
But they got snitches on the inside that's going to feed the info?
Right. That's what it's like. To me, that's what I see.
Because now
this.
it's a family affair.
Right. Yes. So that's
not supposed to fight within the family.
So it could get interesting. Like if they really start going at each other, just know that like they're like lifelong friends and like godfather to the kid and everything. Right? Yeah. So so expect that Kearney to Kearney.
It's getting interesting.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
TikTok is, this is from an insider who provided a lot of information because the shutdown of TikTok is supposed to happen on Sunday. And TikTok is planning to...
TikTok US, by the way.
TikTok US is planning to shut users out starting Sunday when the federal ban comes into effect unless the Supreme Court manages to move the block. So under TikTok's plan, people attempting to open the app as of Sunday will get a pop-up message directing them to a website with information about the ban. And shutting down the app in the US is actually not a complicated thing. They could do it very easily, the source said. And then again, if the ban does get reversed, like if Trump comes in and says, hey, give me more time, whatever, because that's what he's asking for. And they do wind up turning the switch back on TikTok. They said that that's just as easy. So everybody's stuff will still be there. It's like on off. Apparently it's that easy for them to do it.
Could a TikTok user out of the US like VPN to outside of the US to be able to create content and still use TikTok?
Yes, but then you wouldn't be able to view it anywhere other than in Canada, right? Because they won't be able to see it anywhere. Right. The problem is that in Canada, we don't have the creators fund here. So you don't get paid for TikTok here like they do in the US. We're just not a big enough country, right? It's not worth it for them to do it.
But how? There's so many creators here in Toronto that I just don't understand how the fund would never work here. Like, I just don't get it.
Because there's just not enough money for them to do it. Right, like there's just
they won't invest.
They did it. There's the creator fund in only a handful of countries where they make all their money. Mr. Beast, however, is still very much interested in buying TikTok. Here's Mr. Beast.
Just got out of a meeting with a bunch of billionaires. TikTok, we mean business. This is my lawyer right here. We have an offer ready for you. We want to buy the platform. America deserves TikTok. Give me a seat at the table. Let me save this platform, TikTok.
But the problem, again, with Mr. Beast and with Kevin O'Leary and with everybody else who's doing all this press about wanting to buy TikTok, the problem is that TikTok is not for sale. They can meet with whoever they want. They can come up with all the money.
It's whether or not the platform can still be used in the U.S.
It's just not for sale, right? Because that's the whole thing. They need it sold. They need it sold to an American company.
Mr. Beast is like, I'll live in this Lamborghini for 1 month.
If you let me buy it. You watch his show? Have you seen that yet?
The TV show on
Beast
Prime?
Games?
Nah. Is it good?
I was talking to my mom about it last night. She really likes it, but it's just not for me. I'm not a fan of the production or the style of stuff that Mr. Beast does. I like
some
those
of the
big
stuff.
shows, but I'm just not I don't know. There's something real phony about him and about what he does. And I know a lot of it is genuine and everything else, but he's just got a real phony way of presenting things.
I think it's his voice.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I think it's his voice.
Just got out of a meeting with a bunch of billionaires.
I don't know.
TikTok, we mean business. This is my lawyer right here.
And he's going to put his hand on top of this Lamborghini for 1 full month.
Yeah. You think it's a phony, Maury?
I liked the show.
You do like the show.
Yeah, I liked how it began. Like it was like,
stuff.
oh my God.
You think it's a phony show?
I
Comes
watched
off
it with
like a
your
phony?
mom.
You did?
No.
What are you oh, you son of a... How dare you?
Got him.
I wouldn't surprise me. Bring the dog over, dog play date, the whole deal.
No.
Got him!
Good one, Dan Maury.
Is there anything else I wanted to do here? No, not really.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
After months and months of negotiations, Israel and Hamas have reached a 42-day ceasefire deal. This happened yesterday. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that his cabinet has not met to approve it, citing a last-minute crisis with Hamas, accusing them of reneging on parts of the agreement. And he said that he will not commit until all the details are finalized. The first phase of the agreement is to halt the fighting in Gaza so both sides can carry out a prisoner for hostage exchange. Israeli officials say 98 hostages remain in Gaza. 60 of them are believed to be still alive. The first phase, Hamas will hand over 33 hostages, dead or alive, over several weeks, including women, children, and people with severe injuries, and those over 50. And then in exchange, Israel will hand over many hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. So the deal is not done yet, despite all the headlines.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
This is a crazy-ass story, man. So the Justin Baldini, the guy who directed... What was that movie called that he did? Was it...
Oh, the one with...
It Ends With Us?
Yes.
With Blake Lively. So the lawsuit's going back and forth, right? Blake Lively accused Justin Baldini of all of this stuff, inappropriate behavior on set, not having an intimacy coordinator around, fat-shaming her after she had a baby, all of this stuff. And then she sent that. She did a big interview with the New York Times. Justin Baldini turned around, sued the New York Times for like $250 million or something like that, just so they could get all the discovery that they had in their case. So now it's escalated to Justin Baldini is now going to great lengths to prove that he's Nice Pool. Remember?
Sorry, what?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Remember Nice Pool, the guy with the bun?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you have a clip of him. He's a douchey version of
Sorry about that.
Deadpool.
But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Who are you? Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool, too. She just had a baby, too, and can't even tell. Plated 50 caliber Desert Eagle pistoleros? Of course. To match my ear huggy. That's okay. I identify as a feminist.
So now Baldini's lawyer has sent notices off to Kevin Feige and Disney's Bob Iger, demanding that they retain all documents and data related to Baldini because Baldini is convinced that Ryan Reynolds was making fun of him through the character of Nice Pool. They want all documents that prove that there was a, quote, deliberate attempt to mock, harass, ridicule, intimidate, or bully Justin Baldini through that character. Nice Pool, as you just heard, is a sort of Deadpool variant known for like being cheesy, over the top, vapid, idiotic, and self-serving, not to mention sexist and occasionally echoing what Baldini is being accused of by Blake Lively. So you heard that thing in there. So Blake Lively in the movie was Lady Pool, right? And then if you remember in Deadpool and Wolverine, he says she's gorgeous, she just had a baby, but you can't tell, right? So that line is very similar to what Blake Lively's accused Baldini of saying on set of It Ends With Us. Another scene, Nice Pool is disregarding of accusations by sexists by saying it's okay, I identify as a feminist. Nice Pool also seemingly reiterates Lively's sexual misconduct allegations when in the movie he said, where in the God's name is the intimate coordinator? Now, here's where it gets interesting. We know Ryan Reynolds played a bunch of the Deadpools, right? Like that's his character. There's all sorts. There's a kid, there's a dog, there's all these other things. But Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds is also Nice Pool. If you look in the credits of Deadpool, Nice Pool is credited as being Gordon Reynolds. Okay? Just some made-up name, Gordon Reynolds. If you look at the credits for It Ends With Us, Blake Lively has a section where it's Blake Lively would like to thank. She thanks her kids, her manager. She thanks Gordon Reynolds. Right?
See what you did there.
So anyway, God, could you imagine finding out? Like somebody went through those great lengths to goof on you? Yeah. Creating a character?
Spending millions
in a
of dollars?
Marvel movie?
Millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
And reshoots and re-voiceovers and all that stuff?
It's so good.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Apparently, Betty White was not the wonderful person that maybe we all thought she was. So Sally Struthers, who old people may know her from All in the Family, young millennials may know her from Gilmore Girls, but she's also in the new Netflix show Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. And she was doing a podcast, Sally Struthers, talking about what it was like working with Betty White.
I didn't have such a great experience with her. Very passive-aggressive woman. We went to her house once to work on a pilot for a new game show. She asked her housekeeper to bring in a plate of whatever to us while we were all sitting and talking. A plate was set in the middle, and it was cookies, I think. So I reached for a cookie, and she said in front of everyone, "Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you, dear. You don't need a cookie." Totally fat shamed me in front of the rest of the people in the room. And I thought, gosh, that's not nice.
Damn, Maury, you look heartbroken right now.
No, but the thing is, like, I am, because I wished it wasn't true, but I've heard this from so many other, like the actual other Golden Girls have said that she was a nightmare.
She was like mean, right?
Oh. Like her and B. Arthur hated each other.
Yeah. But I've heard that from a bunch. That
Betty White being mean.
That Betty White was a terror. Yeah, for sure.
Fat shaming like that?
Also, very good friends with Ryan Reynolds, if you remember when she was alive. Just saying.
It's like that time Madonna fat shamed you, Maury, when you met her on the red carpet, right?
Why are you fat?
Right? She's pulling at your belly?
She'd let me have a cookie.
Why are you fat?
Could you imagine saying that now? Like, you can't say that to somebody on a red carpet. She walked
you're
right
like-
up to Maury and poked him.
Why are you fat?
And you're still such a big fan,
love her.
Right?
Why are you fat?
Yes, you're right.
That's your claim to fame.
You're right. Why do you love mean people so much, Maury?
Yeah, that's so true.
It's so true. You love mean people.
Why are you fat?
Madonna, Betty White. Who's the guy we banned him from?
Matthew. Oh, sorry, not Matthew. Oh, sorry. I thought that's where you're going. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't say that.
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
on Kiss 92.5
Kiss925.com.
or download the Kiss 92.5 app.